Hey guys, it's RodimusPrimal. I am back with another video, and today we're going to talk about Hasbro Pulse's fan stream today. They revealed all of Wave 3 of Legacy, which is, they've actually shown us the vehicle modes, which they did not do at San Diego Comic-Con. We also got the next wave of Studio Series figures revealed, which I think are going to make both live action fans and 86 fans happy. And we're also getting to some news about the IDW Comics, in addition to some stuff from Takara. So without further ado, let's sit back, relax, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and let's transform and roll out. So I want to thank each and every one of you who have been continuing to watch my videos as I've been putting out more content. I'm at least trying to make some remasters for my older Transformers discussions back when I had first started, before I even had gotten this microphone here. And on top of that, you guys have already know about my current situation right now. We are currently trying to pack up the house, and at the same time we are looking for a new place to move to, because, well, it's kind of expensive here in New Jersey. It might be that we may either stay in the state or may or not. We're not quite sure yet, but I'll keep you guys posted as that stuff continues to happen. So let's actually get into the Transformers news. So Takara unveiled this pretty cool concept, but is not necessarily something that I am looking forward to getting myself. But I know some fans like these crazy crossovers that they do. Canon is doing an official crossover with Takara. They're doing an Optimus Prime figure that transforms into an actual canon Transformer. He has the Matrix there inside the lens, which is kind of weird. I guess you can kind of take it out there. But it does look pretty cool. Just like I said, it's not really my thing. The first thing I thought of when I heard that they were doing a canon Transformer, what about Reflector? And sure enough, they are doing Reflector. And this is actually really cool because he comes with his camera as an accessory. And the device that's inside of his chest there is the same device that was used for the BinalTech Transformers to cross over into Japanese G1 continuity. So he has that there connected to him. But I think the accessory with him in camera mode is also great, and both of them pretty much transform into the same camera. Not necessarily something that I am looking forward to myself, but it is something rather cool. Now, this is something, again, is probably not going to be on my shopping list, and from my understanding, Hasbro is going to be selling this in Asian markets, and it's directly from Hasbro, and it's specific characters. And Bumblebee is an actual bee. The characters that they are doing, you have Optimus, Megatron, Bumblebee, Elita 1, Windblade, Hot Rod, Shattered Glass, Optimus, Beast Wars Megatron, and Nemesis Prime. Funky looking, weird looking, cool looking, not my thing. But yeah, it is kind of neat that they are doing Bumblebee as an actual bee. There's a lot of cutesy accessories that each one of them comes with, but not going to be something I'm going to be looking forward to. Now, the Hasbro Pulse fan stream that revealed today, some of it was a little bit of a repeat of some of the stuff that was for Transformers Legacy that we saw at San Diego Comic-Con. We are now getting a little bit more about the accessories that are coming with it, so I think a lot of fans are going to be excited about it. Especially the Transmetal Megatron. I think this is a great looking figure. I was really on the fence about this one, and we already saw what his dragon mode looked like, but it was the dragon mode itself that was kind of like making me take a step back and go, is this going to be really good? But now seeing this official image of the dragon, yeah, he looks awesome. I really, really dig this figure. I'm hoping for a Cryotech redeco where they redeco this dragon in blue. I'm sure a lot of fans are going to want to see this Megatron maybe even retooled into maybe Transformers Prime Predaking. I mean, I'm sure a lot of fans would probably like to see that, but myself, I really like this Megatron overall. They also talked about with Starscream that yes, he does come with the Starsaber as an accessory, and they wanted to make that one the Energon color, so the sword itself will be a solid gray. The shoulder cannons themselves can fold over, so you can get that, classic look to him. And in jet mode, he does look good. He's missing a few paint applications, like the red stripe there on his cannons and the black on the edges. And I'm sure fans are either going to paint it or they're going to get some Toy Hacks labels. And some fans are just going to like it as it is. I myself, I'm not really a big Armada fan myself, but I know a lot of fans are really excited for more Armada characters. I've been saying for a while now that I do want to see Demolisher, and so yeah, if they're going to do Starscream, I'm sure we're going to see, Demolisher come in the future as well. Inferno is one that I'm really excited about. After seeing these official images with his weapons, with him also in Ant mode, and the Ant mode looks great. Absolutely does look great. They also said that the eyes are not going to be black. They are going to be blue, just like the animation art is supposed to be. They did make sure to change that. That is something that they have changed, particularly for this figure. Looks great. Awesome. And something else that they showed in the live stream was that the whole back section there does rotate. A lot of people were worried about it not being able to rotate. It does rotate, and you can remove the piece there for his blaster. Now, the only thing that kind of stinks about that is that his blaster that's in there, I don't know if that's the gun that he carries or if that piece is, like how he's supposed to hold it. We might need to get another, weapon made by a third party in order to complete his look, so he still has the rocket booster on his back, while at the same time still having him being able to hold his gun. I've said for a while that Skullgrin is a pleasant surprise. I'm really excited about this particular character. For those of you who are not aware, he is one of the 3 main Decepticon pretenders that showed up in Master Force. They had different names. I believe his was Doros, the other one was Blood, and I forgot what I think it was the was it Gilmer, I think was Submarauder. So I'm excited about this as far as how his character looks, but I'm curious about whether or not, people are, like the idea of the Pretender shell being gone. Some people don't like the Pretender shells, and so this is a good way to incorporate it. Personally, I would have liked it if it was like an optional skull head and a chest plate that can go over it. If he had a chest plate that on his front there that had the skull head attached to the regular robot head, that would be a cool compromise to still give you that Pretender shell look. That would be a better way about doing it. But then again, he did spend most of his time, with the skull head on, with the Pretender shell on. So this particular character, I don't mind it as much. It's the other ones that are different colors in robot mode compared to their Pretender shells. And his tank mode, it's serviceable. It's just as serviceable as the original one. The G1 Skullgrin in tank mode was pretty much just as plain as this one is. So it does look good, and I'm happy about it overall. I love the Stunticons, and I think they're one of the idea behind the Autobots having the jets and the Decepticons having the cars for the first time, and then being a dedicated combiner team was one of the greatest concepts back when they first brought in the episode The Key to Vector Sigma. And for me, Dead End is one of my favorite of the Stunticons. I think Dead End probably is. I love him because of that nihilist attitude. Who cares? If death comes, death is death. That's just he's a pessimistic character. And he looks great in robot mode. He looks so much better than previous incarnations of Dead End. And his car mode, and I love what they've done with his car mode here. I was kind of wondering whether or not they were going to go more toy accurate or they were going to go cartoon accurate, because the original toy had that yellow pinstripe, but they did not put that yellow pinstripe in the cartoon. So I was hoping that they would still do so, with the toy, for the new Stunticons, and I'm glad that they did. Very glad that they did, and he looks awesome. Just straight up does. And Dead End is definitely on my list because I want a complete set of Stunticons. I still have to get Motormaster, still don't have Wild Rider. I know some people are finding Motormaster now, and I'm hoping that most of you who are not having any QC issues with Motormaster overall, but the way that this one attaches, it's the same way as Dragstrip. He does split in two in car mode in order to become part of the arm of Menasor. Now, for certain, I am not going for Burnout, but Crankcase is a must get. I really like this character overall, and I think he looks like, I'm really impressed with the work that they did to make him look so good after being like a partial out of skids. He is a very, very high, like they've retooled him so much. The actual front grill there that you see, the gun that he's holding, that attaches to the chest plate, right here. So it looks awesome just in robot mode. And they made sure that he does have the cannons actually do come out on his shoulders, because that is something that the original toy had. So I'm hoping that we see more of those. I think it's the Triggercons and the Triggerbots. Maybe if we might see like Backstreet or Joyride or some of the other characters from that lineup of Autobots and Decepticons. I believe that they had accompanied Optimus Prime in years past, back when, during the Underbase saga. So it would be kind of neat to see, more of them. In vehicle mode, I'm impressed with the amount of retooling that they did, while still holding on to him being a complete overhaul of skids, making him like stand out a little bit more. I like it a lot better than what they did with Burnout. So he looks awesome. We have Point Blank, and they are calling him Point Blank. They're not calling him Blanker. I know a lot of us were talking about that during the San Diego Comic-Con reveals, and we were wondering whether or not he came with his Target Master partner. Well, he not only comes with his Target Master partner, but his Target Master partner is a brand new mold. It's not the same one as the previous, like the War for Cybertron ones. So Peacemaker does attach to Point Blank in car mode, like right there on the top. It does look really good. Point Blank is one of the few Target Masters of the original G1 Target Masters that I still have. And, I really, really loved his original toy. I'm kind of curious, though, for fans, though, because some will probably notice that he doesn't have that weird shield that the original toy had, but instead it's just the way the Target Master attaches to the top of him. But the car mode does look good, and I'm curious about what Transformers you can see coming out of this toy in particular. Now, when they opened up their live stream, I do want to take a step back. They had more folks on this particular live stream than they usually do, which was kind of cool because we got to see something else come out of Transformers that was revealed, I believe, at TF Nation in the UK. These are UK exclusive stamps, and you'll be able to purchase these. They are made using UK Transformers artists, like I think Andy Wildman, and I believe is the one who has done the artwork for this, and they look really cool. If you're familiar with the art for Regeneration 1, it's pretty much the same artwork. I'm in the US, so the stamps really mean nothing to me, and I'm not a stamp collector. So it's really more so if you like the images for it. So it's definitely for those who are big into stamps, and I want to know if that's something that interests you. Now, before I talk about the comic books themselves, we do know that Last Bot Standing, and I believe The Last of Shattered Glass is going to be published throughout the rest of the year. So they're finishing out 2022 with IDW as we know it. Maybe we might see something at PulseCon, but from what we understand, a lot of people, that they're not yet ready to make the announcement. They are making a transition, but it seems that the transition is going to be more of a smooth one instead of an abrupt one. Because when Dreamwave went out of business, it was like, okay, well, what's going to happen to Transformers comic books now? And the next thing that ended up happening was IDW. So, they are trying to make a smoother transition, and I'm guessing that there is a lot of reasoning behind that. And maybe it's because they had already, prepared for certain solicitations, and they wanted to make sure that they had gotten that artwork, and that the next, Transformers comic book creator would do something well with it. And so that's what we're seeing here. So we are going to see Hot Rod is going to be facing off against Steeljaw. That's kind of cool. Maybe, I want to see how that turns out. That from what I've heard, The Last Bot Standing is a really cool Transformers story that takes place in the far future. We don't know what continuity it takes place in. Some believe that it takes place in IDW's old continuity, but, and some people believe it takes place in the IDW's new continuity, but I don't know. But $6 is a lot for a comic book. And of course, we know more about Shattered Glass. They're doing a second, they're doing a second series of comic books. I believe it's a 5-issue miniseries, and I believe it's going to be August, September. I believe that's when they're publishing. So December will be the final issue of Shattered Glass 2, and I believe that's going to conclude their story. But we don't know if they're going to continue on after that. And we also know that they are going to collect a bunch of different Transformers comic books that a lot of people had a hard time finding, and they're going to put them together into one, novel. They're going to put it into one graphic novel altogether. Now, I wanted to talk about all of that stuff before I moved on to the core class and the rest of the Studio Series reveals. And so what we see now is Studio Series Hot Rod from Transformers The Last Knight. You guys know, I'm not a big fan of the live-action films, but I know a lot of you have been waiting for them to do more stuff from the Bay films. And Hot Rod has not been one character that I particularly liked, being an old-school Rodimus fan, giving him that French accent. I mean, the gun was cool, but I will give them credit where credit is due. They have worked their magic in order to make a really good looking Hot Rod figure based on that design. Again, it's not something that I'm a big fan of, but I will give them credit that they've really gone out of their way to make a really good looking Hot Rod figure. Of course, he does come with the Stop the Time gun that he had in the movie, and his car mode is a fully licensed Lamborghini. I wish it was an all orange car, or an all red and orange car, or magenta or something, instead of just having the pinstriping, because again, I'm a fan of the old school of the character. It's like they can never give us a red Transformer. They give us Dino, and he's barely in it, and then he disappears after that. It's like, come on, can we get more, red characters? That's just my own personal take on it, but the car mode does look great. I know a lot of people are excited about this character as well. Crosshairs was one of the few characters from the live action films that I actually really enjoyed. I prefer, the idea of him being a target master, but the fact that he's Crosshairs and he, knows how to use a lot of weaponry is awesome. And the trench coat looking thing was always a cool design choice, even though they weren't trying to make him transform into the car. But yeah, I did like this character in the live action films overall. And they've actually incorporated the car into a trench coat, which is something that's very difficult to do and yet still have it transform. And as you can see, he transforms really well into an awesome looking car mode. Car modes for the live action films, like they got awesome licensed cars. You can't argue on that one. And this particular Corvette is a great looking Corvette. This is one character I actually wish was blue, but because of the way the G1 character was, but the green does look great. And I love the striping. This one has been leaked, a little while ago, but it's one that I'm very excited for those of us who have been complaining for a long time that the Amazon exclusives we missed out on, like for Ironhide and for Prowl and for Ramjet. Maybe we might actually see Ramjet get repacked or something, but they're doing a new mold for Ironhide, and this one I'm actually excited for a lot more because I missed out on the Earthrise one. So it gives me even more reason to pick this up. And they also said that they're probably going to end up retooling him into Ratchet because there is a core class, which I will get into in a little bit. And they decided, in order to make him all one, they decided to not have him have any parts forming like the Earthrise toy. To actually have him transform the standard way, like to actually have him be one piece. And that looks great. I will give them that. The only thing I don't like and don't care for is, I know this is supposed to be for weapon storage, but the little pegs there at the top, I know that it's part of the clear plastic there, so I'm sure fans are gonna scrape that off or something. You can use it for weapon storage if you want to, because the two blasters he comes with can either be used as exhaust or they can be stored on his roof. I don't see a reason to store that on the roof, but that's just a personal choice. But the figure does look awesome, and it is something I definitely want because I do want an Earth mode Ironhide. And this one here is going to excite a lot of live action fans as well. Is a leader class, the Fallen. and he's large. So they even showed how big he was, because they went ahead to try and make all the detailing with the blue there that you saw in the movie all there as well. And you can take his mask off because Optimus says, give me your face. And he does have the, maskless face underneath. And his alternate mode is a weird looking spider jet thing. I guess they had to give him an alternate mode. Personally, I would like to see a return back from the Fallen that we had in the Dreamwave comics, that he made him look like he was a walking furnace. That was like just a really cool design, and the titanium figure does not cut it. But, this particular Fallen is going to excite a lot of live action fans, and he's a leader class, so he'll be able to be incorporated with your, I think, 15th anniversary Optimus that can combine with the Jetfire figure, and so you can have the two of them face off against each other that way. And like, as I said before, they decided to reveal Ratchet. I know I had talked about this in a previous video, but they are doing the core class Ratchet. We're going to see Ironhide out of him as well. And they even said they're going to do Ratchet in the Voyager class, and they'll end up doing Ironhide in core class as well. So they're going to crisscross. Personally, I don't see a reason for me to get the core class version of this particular figure, and that's perfectly fine. But this one is one that I saw the car mode, and I'm like, I don't care for the car mode. Like, I'm looking at the car mode here. This one here is Takara Legends Wheelie, and the car mode on this one is okay, and I had hoped that they would have been able to do it better with the Studio Series figures, but this, the robot mode looks a lot better than this one does. So when you transform this one into robot mode, it just doesn't look as good as the Studio Series. The Studio Series figure here, the robot mode is great. It's a lot better than that accessory that came with Grimlock. And he actually has a car mode. But the fists are uncovered. The front of the car looks a little weird, but it does have the opening and closing, piece there on the top of the car, so you can have that classic G1 look to him, where his head is underneath, which is nice, which is a nice touch. But I'm like on the fence here. Like, is it actually better than the Studio Series figure? And the answer is, I'm not really sure. I have to see more of this particular figure in person before I can really make a decision. But I like the robot mode a lot better than this. And this one's okay. It's okay. But the robot mode on this one's better. The car mode, I think this one has a better car mode. Now, as I had said before about Skullgrin being one of the three, original Decepticon pretenders, they gave us Iguanus in Wave 1, and now they're going to be giving us Legacy Bombburst in Wave 3. This one, I like it. It works for a smaller figure. I wished it still had the Pretender shell overall, because the robot mode was an all blue robot mode, and what they've given us is a all blue jet mode. So they've incorporated the Pretender shell into the robot, which is fine for core class, but if you wanted that full deluxe or Voyager class figure, you're not going to get it out of this. I hope they actually bring the shell back for Bludgeon and Thunderwing. Those two particular characters, it's like they need their shells. It's just kind of like part of like the way that those two characters are, and having it incorporated that way would be a little bit different. But in this one, I like the alt mode. I like I like Bombburst robot mode as well. It's just kind of like disappointing that we're missing out on the Pretender shell. I do want to bring this up before I talk about the next figure, and the one that got me the most excited about of them all, and that is the repack for Core Class Soundwave. If you missed out on the Core Class Soundwave figure, which is a really good figure, I do have it myself here in cassette mode. This is really great if you want a Soundwave that is in a boombox mode. Hear me out on this one. I think that we might probably see a Studio Series 86 Soundwave using the next Netflix mold once they were able to use it again, and maybe it might be in more cartoon accurate colors. But this particular Soundwave is great if you want something as a smaller boombox to like have as a Soundwave disguise. If you end up getting the Legacy Voyager class figure, which is just the Siege figure done without the battle damage, and you keep him in robot mode, you can get this one and put him in boombox mode and then make that the disguise that it is, you know, even though it kind of transforms into a different thing, you know, and that's perfectly fine. But this is a great little figure. I hope that we can actually see Blaster done in this scale, because the next figure is one that I am very, very excited about. In fact, it's the one that I think I got the most excited about out of them all. And that is saving the best for last with Rumble. Studio Series 86 Rumble. It looks like it is I don't know if it's a brand new mold or if it's slightly retooled from the Siege figures, because these little figures here, the Siege figures, they were all right. They were not that great, and they could have done them a lot better. And it seems that no, actually, it looks like it's a brand new mold. And I'm excited about that. It comes with his weapons, comes with his pile drivers, and the pile drivers can be removed. He just doesn't look like he has, elbow articulation, but I guess that's all right because he has his blasters, and he also has his pile drivers, and he fits inside Netflix or Siege or Legacy Soundwave, which also means, of course, he fits in, any of them. So having the smaller boombox, is one why I want the blaster one done in this scale. But this figure looks great. And yes, they are going to be calling him Rumble. So this one here, the blue one, this figure is, Siege Frenzy. But this figure that they're releasing for Studio Series 86 is Rumble. And if you're not familiar with why, go watch my video about who is who. Personally, I'm go by the cartoon, and this to me is the Rumble figure that I've been waiting for, for a while now, and I'm glad that they're giving that to us with this figure, so I'm excited about it, and I want to know what you guys think about all of this Transformers news. This is a pretty exciting live stream. I think was a lot better for a lot of people. Some people really wanted to hear about the comic book news. Some people really wanted to hear about the live action film Studio Series figures. And for myself, of course, I want to see the G1 stuff that comes out of Legacy and comes out of Studio Series 86. Of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe, and check out my other videos as well. I have more Transformers videos coming down the pipeline, so stay tuned for that. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.